study done in 2016 led by Robert Blendon of Harvard University. 83% of Americans think that changing genes to improve physical characteristics should be illegal. With technologies advancing at an exponential rate, it won't be long until you can design your own children. With this new technology comes a lot of issues. And after thorough research on the topic, we believe that pursuing genetic modification will cause harm to our society. Over the next few minutes, myself, Andrew, and Mason will tell you more about why designer babies are not a good thing, the problems they face, as well as some possible solutions. We think there are three main problems with designing children. The first is that it will further divide society. The second is that it is not ethical. And the third is that it is not necessary because of parental influence. We will talk about what these issues are, the effects of them, as well as some possible solutions to prevent these problems from manifesting. The first main problem is the practical problem, which is allowing parents to decide characteristics of their children will cause rifts in society, where genetically modified children are at the top and the normal children are at the bottom. The second problem is the ethical problem. And according to Sarah Lai of Arizona State University in 2011, the Council on Ethical and Judicial Affairs released a statement in support of using genetic modification as a means to prevent disease, but modification based on benign characteristics is unethical. We'll make the case that genetically modifying babies is unethical except to save their life. The last problem is that even though you have a designer baby, there's no guarantee on how the child will turn out. Parents have a lot of influence on their kids already through sports and different activities, and there's still a chance that the kid will turn out bad and not how they wanted to, or have criminal tendencies. There's no point in spending that much time and resources on something that's not guaranteed. And next, I'll turn it over to Andrew to discuss some of the effects of this problem.
So, as Mike talked about previously, designer children are people who would have their genes edited. Scientists are able to do this through a process known as CRISPR. According to the article from the National Institute of Health in April of 2019, CRISPR works by using Cas9 enzymes to cut the DNA at the targeted location. And once the DNA is cut, researchers use the cell's own DNA repair machinery to add or delete pieces of genetic material. Also, according to the Congressional Research Service in December of 2018, CRISPR may be able to offer the means to prevent, treat, or even cure medical conditions such as diabetes, malaria, sickle cell disease, and many more. And it's this reason why we aren't arguing that we shouldn't use this process to treat fatal genetic diseases, but rather we want to focus on why we shouldn't use this technique to change non-lethal characteristics. So CRISPR requires a lot of cutting-edge equipment in high-tech labs, and this comes with a really great cost, which means that the process would not be available for everyone. Just a select few who live in big cities and have a lot of money would be able to do this. Now, this is a problem because it wouldn't be fair to people who live in rural areas where this technology isn't available. It might even create a new group of humans who would be thought of as better somehow because they are designed. The next issue is with the ethics of designer children. This is a big concern and a main reason why 83% of people think it should be illegal, as Mike said earlier. The first ethical concern is with the testing. In order for CRISPR to produce reliable results, there would have to be a lot of testing done on human life. So a lot of people have problems with testing new unknown techniques on animals, let alone human babies that have no capacity to consent to what they're being tested on. The second ethical problem is that humans are trying to take a role that we just aren't meant to take. For thousands of years, every living creature on the face of the earth has had their characteristics chosen based on some natural process. And now we're trying to take that from nature, even though nature's been doing a fine job so far. The third problem with designer children is that it seems somewhat pointless. This has to do with the age-old nature versus nurture argument that no matter what kind of characteristics you can give your child, if you raise it poorly, it'll probably turn out poorly. Which is why I suggest we should spend more time focusing on the nurturing aspects of this conundrum rather than the nature. I think the nature part is more of a dead end. So now that you've learned a little bit about the effects of these problems, I'll turn it over to Mason, who will tell you about some possible solutions that we have.
All right, so one possible solution that we came up with was getting awareness out to the public, like so more people are aware of what is going on and what is happening to these babies and why people decide that. That same study written by Sarah Lai, CRISPR is a very new subject that has came to be over the last 30 years, which is very new in the science world, so not very much research and development kind of thing has been able to go on over the course of those 30 years. Not a lot of people know the details about like what is actually going on, and like getting awareness out to the public would let people know more about the whole what is going on with these children. And like today in today's society, they're trying to like more normalize it. And why would we want to normalize something that isn't always a good thing when people can just design their own babies when it's been happening for the last centuries on centuries for very naturally. And then another solution that we came up with was stricter regulations on doctors and what they're able to do with this, or just flat out making this illegal for like specifically designing children. Because we're not totally against the bad thing, or not totally against like getting rid of diseases and all this stuff and all that, but we're very against designing your own children. And this, by pushing it out into the public, would make this ethical issue out into the public's eye, generating more awareness for everyone out there. And then the final solution that we came up with was just ban it all together. And then again, with how are people going to be all right with this testing on these infants and unborn children that don't even have consent to give for anything like that? And then parents already have enough control over their child's interests from a very young age by entering them in sports and other musics and stuff like that with their children, so that they can influence their interests. And then in conclusion, we told you what designer children are, and then a couple problems, the ethical versus unethical, and then some facts about them, and then a couple possible solutions about why we think that these children will be bad influences in today's society. Thank you.